What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? I'm the Celtic Warrior, Seamus.
Wardlow here.
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome to the dive bar of the IWC. Welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks, episode 1. Again, on my birthday. And now, here's your host, Marsh. Thank you, Marv. Thank you, Marv, for a wonderful introduction. And thank you, all my drinking buddies, for coming with me on a new happy hour edition. This is a little buyback, a little bonus show. It's going to be me and my co-host over here today, my guest, alumni. We got Sports Beard. What's going on, man?
Hey, nice to be back. I was missing the show, man. We hadn't been able to talk wrestling, and we've been watching a lot. And I say the wife is super into it. She's like, I never thought I'd be into wrestling, but I like it. And I was like, yeah, because it's awesome.
It's awesome, and they're hitting their stride in a big way. There's a lot of stuff that's actually making sense in a way that didn't used to. Like, it's a good time to get into it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I would be okay with the bloodline just appearing, but
I mean, lucky for you, they kind of have.
That's the joke, right? So, like, just to jump right into it, when my wife and I were watching Seth Rollins' promo on Raw, I was like telling her, I was like, he's right. I don't give a shit about Roman's title. I've stopped caring about it forever. Justin Time in the chat. What's up, Justin? Good,
sweet
good dude,
cheers,
man.
Justin Time coming through.
I was like, yeah, I'd rather see Seth and Cody. I go, even though, for two reasons. One, if Seth isn't 100%, I trust Cody to wrestle him safely, and it's going to be a good thing. I was a little disappointed. I mean, it was sucked because we were going to have CM Punk and Seth Rollins. I mean, that was going to be the thing. But Seth Rollins being such a brilliant, I know it was his idea. He just goes, yeah, no, I'll just call out Cody and tell him Roman's title's irrelevant, and he's not wrong. I read a stat or something that Rollins had already defended the title like 48 times, and Roman hasn't defended it that much in the 3.5, whatever. The whole him having it a long time, dude, he's had help. Like, The Rock didn't get help. Stone Cold didn't get stuff. He's not, when they say Mount Rushmore, dude, he's not the guy chiseling the thing on Rushmore for wrestling for me. I'm sorry. I don't think he's that great in the ring. He's, Paul Heyman is what makes him. You have to have I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to go down the Roman Reigns because I know there's a lot of the WWE universe that just worship the ground he walks on. But I'm like, he's not doing anything. And it's not like he's out making movie. He's getting bit roles in like the Fast and Furious. Like so you can't play the Marine because you don't have a clean shave and you have long hair. So, I mean, like, you can't do one of the Marine runs. Like, even the Miz, like, dude, I love what the Miz is doing right now. And I don't know if I told you, huge wrestling news, personal news for me. Ron Killings follows me on Twitter, bro. I'm just saying, R-Truth follows me. Yeah, because I tweeted, R-Truth is the greatest thing in the WWE right now, and he fucking is. I loved it. I'm so disappointed. The Judgment Day missed an opportunity to have him on the team and get rid of that fucking worthless hack, JD, whatever his name is. He's awful. Get him the fuck out of there. And you already got Tom and Nick. So there's two, right?
That's a whole tag team right there.
I'm just saying. And but if they're gonna to caveat what the Miz has been doing, is he the most underappreciated guy? I fucking love the Miz. I know you're not a big Miz guy, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no. I mean, matter of fact, when he came out on Raw, I was kind of like, man, we're back to the truth, awesome truth or whatever. And I was like, this feels like such a rehash that I just think maybe I've never been told about it on Miz
because I never saw it the first time.
I didn't see it either, but I also feel like that I've never seen him be different than what he's always been. But maybe there's something to that.
This is what I love about the Miz. I think he's through and through, but besides Seth Rollins, the best company man there. He will fucking do anything. He will do. He'll shovel shit, or he'll clean the bathrooms. Like he'll do. And his match against Gunther, I thought he should have won it. To be honest with you, I thought he should have won it. I think Gunther being the Intercontinental is played out too. These runs are doing. And I know Triple H is in charge now, and he was all big about how he was a champion for a long time. Who cares? The story needs to make sense. Cody should have beat Roman. That would have ended that story, and they could have done. I liked what they were doing with Cody and Shinsuke. That could have gone another 6 months. That's how good that was. So I was like, and it was a good move. I mean, obviously they had the Brock Lesnar interlude. That'll never happen again, right? So guess we saw his last run in the WWE.
At least it was a good run at the end there.
Yeah, I mean, so hey, sorry about it. As Pat McAfee would say, that is awesome too. By the way, I did not expect. Yeah, Pat's been taking a lot of heat, and I think unfairly, because it's not him saying what some of the shit's been said on his show. It's Aaron Rodgers and that fucking hack Boston Connor. So like,
they've been talking shit.
They just say a bunch of like controversial, like Aaron Rodgers is big time anti-vaccine, which like good for him. Like you don't have, I agree with that, but he's very vocal about it on fucking ESPN. And then he talks about being censored when he's not. He's on the biggest platform there is. No one's censoring him. And Pat's just kind of wrong. I honestly just feel like Aaron's doing a disservice to his friend, which I mean, Pat pays Aaron like $2.5 million to come on his fucking show. And he gave a good reason why he did it too. He's like, hey, we're big because Aaron came on our show, and he's not wrong. And he doesn't forget his friends. And look, I don't hate Aaron Rodgers. Like I agree, like, dude, you should do what you want to do with your own medical stuff. Like it's nobody else's business. But don't say you're being censored when you're not, and then be like, Big Pharma, okay, yeah, dude, like there's a lot of people that think your way, especially after, the last like 4 years of our country's history, right? So I get it. I just like, it's just funny how certain political parties are like, when somebody comes out in support of like Black Lives Matter, like sick to sports, but nobody's saying sick to sports to Aaron Rodgers when it's a sports show. So that's how I say it.
Yeah.
Not to get off topic, but anyway, that was kind of Pat's been going through it, man. Like people have been putting him through the meat grinder a little bit, and he really doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, but it's cool to have him back, dude.
Oh, I'm so
excited to have him back. He's going to be back full time on Raw for a while.
Yeah,
I think he's a little overly excited to be back, which is cool. You know what I mean? Like, dude, he was being a little extra goofy, and I think that I think he'll calm down in a minute because he's so excited, you know?
Yeah, it's because Justin said something here, and I'll let you address it real quick,
Yeah,
but it's because of what he's fucking been through. Like, no bullshit. Like, the media has been putting him through the shit. And I just think I think the people around WWE, everything I've heard from wrestlers, it's a very good group with the wrestlers, with the people behind the scenes. You know, despite what we heard about Vince McMahon, it sounds like it's a pretty tight knit family anyway. And Pat has said that he's been treated so well. I just think he loves it. Like, it's part of his family. And you know, he said something on his show that you may not have caught, because I know you don't really consume his daily program, but he said something a couple years ago. He's like, there were two things I wanted to do when I was a kid: play professional soccer, because he was a soccer player, real high-end soccer player before he started playing football, and be a WWE superstar. And he would announce himself into the classroom and shit. And he does an interview at his high school plum with this girl, and she's kind of fit. She's a high school kid, so I don't want to say she was in this thing. She's now in NXT or something. I can't think of her name.
No kidding.
Yeah, so she was like a big wrestler thing. And I know Pat got where he is because of the work ethic.
Yeah.
And his matches are great. People don't know how much training and behind the scenes he did. I know he trained with
Rip Rogers
and another wrestler. I want to say not Gargano, but he did some in-ring stuff for a New York minute with the UFC, like before Pat had left, like 18 months ago. And I can't think of his name. He's like, that's Drew something.
Drew Gulak?
What?
Was it Drew Gulak?
It was Drew Gulak.
He's good.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's smart.
Yeah, and then of course you had the whole Michael Cole thing and all, or not Michael Cole, Adam Cole.
Yeah. Work with him. So
well, he came on the show. They did like some kayfabe for real shit, and like he smacked him on the show like some Andy Kaufman shit.
Yeah, I just don't think Adam Cole's that good to pull it off. Like, to me, I thought the stuff was kind of real until I saw the way Adam Cole behaved on that, and I was like, okay, Adam Cole went too far. Like,
he went over the top for nothing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. But yeah. I agree with you. It was still pretty fucking cool. And I've never liked Adam Cole. So watching the Pat McAfee thing, I was so cheering for McAfee. When McAfee like kicked his head off at the thing, I watched that over and over again. I was like, McAfee's a legend, like right away, because he was going up against a guy I didn't really like. So it was perfect.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't watch AEW, but I don't ever see anything about AEW when I read it that cites Adam Cole. So he just went to AEW to disappear, which is unfortunate. I know he's a big time gamer and stuff. I bet he's an awesome guy. I don't have anything against him. I just feel really bad for the guy that.
Yeah. Let's get over here real quick on the Seth thing. Justin Time says like they made the world title feel a little less like a consolation prize while also having Cody just make not having Cody just make his decision right off the bat. It feels in some time to get closer to Mania, but there's only one choice for Cody. And I agree. And let me pitch this to you, Beard, Mr. Beard.
I'd rather see him I don't care about Roman.
I know, but let me tell you how Seth's promo broke down to me real quick. And I mentioned it the other night, but still, Seth does this whole promo where, you know, this is the workhorse title. That's a Hollywood title. That's a politicky title. What would Dusty Rhodes have wanted? You and I both know he was a workhorse champion. I'm a workhorse champion.
World-class promo from Seth Rollins. What else?
It was. But it felt to me like Seth just didn't get it. And not in a bad way. In kayfabe. In the character of Seth, he doesn't get it. He thinks that Dusty Rhodes is a workhorse champion. Therefore, Cody should be a workhorse champion. What he's missing is the story that Cody was telling was that on the mantle at Dusty's home was the picture of the big title that they took away from him, not a picture of all the workhorse titles that Dusty held, right? And Cody's held every workhorse title. He held the IC in WWE before he left. He held the TNT in AEW. He's held all the titles that the blue-collar workhorse champions get. And this story is proving that the Rhodes family name isn't capped at a blue-collar workhorse title. That they can be, without being a politic, they can get to that Hollywood level.
Right, but don't you think, and this is where I'm coming from on this. Don't you think that Seth Rollins has made that World Heavyweight Championship title more relevant than the Universal title? I don't give a fuck about the Universal title anymore. They're just going to let Roman have one of his thugs come in and thumb somebody in the neck for like the 80th fucking time, and he's going to retain. And it's like, I've seen this show like 7,000 times now, guys. I don't care. In fact, I don't care at all because Roman's not even on half the shows anymore. You never see him. It's just Jay and Solo, and they lose so much. It's like they're not dominant enough, in my opinion, to like really, to me, the faction story that's out there is the Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, the Judgment Day. That's the one I'm interested in. And Bayley's faction now, which finally they started getting. She wins the Rumble. She should beat Rhea Ripley because they got to turn Rhea Ripley
babyface. Yeah.
She's got to go babyface, man. She's too popular. She's so good. And it's like the Judgment Day could actually be a babyface group. That's what I thought. R-Truth, get rid of the dumb shit that sucks anyway. And, Dominic's always going to get booed. Like, that's just never going to change. But you just have him there, right? Like, so but I just feel like that's my opinion. I hear what you're saying. But, like, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship to me looks like the old heavyweight championship title and just feels like and who cares about the Universal title? That shit didn't exist when Dusty Rhodes was there. So I'm looking at it from a title I hear what you're saying and I get it, but I agreed with Seth. I'm like, Seth fucking made his title on his own more important and more significant than the Universal title. The fan base, dude, is done with the ones. Half of the fucking crowd doesn't even put him up anymore. Like when it was everybody, I got it. But it's been too long. They've beaten this horse so dead. Like they got to call the Humane Society in on this one, is what I'm saying.
Here's where I agree with you that I am so interested in the Roman matches at this point. I get into them in the very beginning, and then when the fucking interference happens, I'm out because now I know what the whole thing is. It's been the same thing for 2 years, and we talked about it before. But in contrast to what you're saying, I also don't give a shit about Seth's title because it's the same thing with him. He goes out there every week and crushes all the baby faces, and you can hear the crowd. They're ready for him to drop that title too. Every single match that Roman and Seth has had since they've been champion, the crowd is hot for the other person to take it. Neither one of them. And to agree with you even more, but take it a step further, not only is the Roman title not all that relevant and doesn't matter, but evidence that Seth's isn't either is the fact that who's on the cover of the new game? Cody and Bianca and Rhea. Because those are the people that we care about. Those are why we tune in. When they want to sell out a show, they put Cody on the poster, not Seth as the champion. So
or
even
Roman.
with Seth
or Roman.
Well, they can put Roman on there too, but he doesn't do as many shows. But I'm saying like they did a house show that had Seth on it, and they sold it out by putting Cody on the thing. So even his things like who's main eventing every show, Cody could have been like, yeah, but who sold all the tickets? You know what I mean? Like people care more about them than either champion. I
don't disagree with you, but I will say this: Seth is very popular. Like it's not like Cody is so much more popular than Seth. I mean, Seth is the whole fucking crowd chances. Whoa, he comes out. And they know at this point, Seth can be whatever. Like he's on that thing where he can play whatever role from a night-to-night basis, and the fans are buying it because he's so good. And Roman's not doing anything. It's just Paul Heyman working his fucking ass off. Which, by the way, Paul, hit the fucking gym because I'm worried you're gonna have a heart attack, bro. Because every episode you look fatter. And I don't want you to die because you're awesome. So, what?
Yeah,
what'd you say?
He's amazing. Yeah, I was like, because
he's so good, dude. Like he's unbelievable, and he never he was on Pat's show the other day, and he doesn't. He can be Paul Heyman, but also be like not really come out of the kayfabe with the whole thing. It's really good. So this is him in interviews and stuff. So to me, they've let him do it because he's so good.
Yes.
I mean, Jimmy's fine. What Jey Uso is doing is way more interesting to me. I love that there's not enough of that factioning off. Yeah. They didn't play off that enough. Roman could have lost his title because of Jey, and I know they wrestled each other or whatever, but I'm with you. I just feel like the Roman stuff, the fan base was done a long time ago. If Cody would have won it, yeah, but he could have. Justin, I hear he says you could put the thing up. He says it's about Cody winning the
completing
first
the story. But I think it's even more than just holding that championship. It's proving that to be a Rhodes, you don't get capped. There's no glass ceiling for you. You can be the face of the company. You can be the Hollywood champion. You could be the champion that seems untouchable, because that's what they took away from Dusty. When Dusty came in, they put him in polka dots. When his brother came in, they painted him in gold. When Cody comes in, they put a mask over his face and then they painted him in silver. Like this is him proving that the Rhodes family can be on the cover of video games, can be the marquee name on the ticket, can hold the biggest title that they have, the most important title that they have, without having to politic, but working yourself into it, right? That's fair. He's actually proving to Seth that Seth is right. That's why he can't go for Seth. Right? You're right, Seth. I would normally
cut the same promo what you're saying, basically.
He fucking better, dude. Yeah. He fucking better.
He's going to. I could see it, man. I'm hearing what you're saying.
And it's not even that I don't like them working together, but at the same time, I don't think Seth has a leg to stand on, because he lost like 3 or 4 matches in a row against Cody, even when Cody had one arm. There's no part of me that makes me go, Seth should want the match, or that we need to see the match.
Well,
you know what I mean?
That's what made me think. So I love that you brought that up, because Seth being injured and then Cody wrestling him with the torn pec and all the bruising was fucking brutal, right? Yeah. Like, you just hurt for him every time he took it. And he's like, well, the doctor said basically I couldn't hurt it worse, so why not do it? But like, I don't think he does that match if he doesn't trust Seth Rollins. Exactly. And so I'm thinking on the reverse side, here's Seth. He's going to be rehabbing a thing where he's going to be coming back early from the recommended timetable of whatever his torn ACL or something, I think. Yeah. So I just feel like we'll be able to get a great match with a limited Seth Rollins, because, dude, how lame ass would it be if we only got one title defense? You know what I'm saying? Like Roman and Cody, but Seth doesn't get to defend his because they don't have anybody to wrestle him. He's not back because he's not relinquishing the title, which I think is a mistake by WWE either. I think they should do an open thing. But like, I thought the alternative is LA Knight, who I think is right now the number one most popular wrestler, and they're ruining his momentum by not like the whole Randy. Randy should have taken the title off of Roman. Yep. And then LA Knight could have went after Randy, and that would have been a great story. Roman's not there anyway, and now they have all these top dude, by the way, Randy Orton and AJ Styles looked phenomenal. I was like, what gear are you two taking? Yeah. Like, AJ look as fit as he's looked. I know Justin is a huge AJ fan, and he was good. I didn't understand why he was so angry at LA Knight. It was like, dude, you got hurt. You're out. Like, why? What's LA Knight supposed to do? Not wrestle? Like, that was so dumb. I was like, they should have done something else with AJ, like kick the fucking Bloodline's ass so Roman loses, and then AJ has a grounds to challenge the Randy, and they could do a thing. Meanwhile, you got Randy fighting off LA Knight, and it would have been good, because LA Knight, they're fucking wasting his popularity right now.
They are for sure.
He should be a title holder.
I'll give you this too. I'll say this as far as like AJ being a little extra petty for some reason. I mean, how many alpha type males get pretty petty about little things sometimes? They hold a grudge for no fucking reason. So not to like be an over apologist for every storyline there, but I remember the same thing happened when AJ said that about LA Knight. I was like, come on, dude, it's a bit sensitive, isn't it? But then at the same time, you're like, but in this world, being sensitive isn't unreasonable.
When the wrestling fans are going, it's kind of petty, bro. Like just move on. Like, I don't think it sat well with the fans. I think they didn't even need AJ in the mix. I would have been okay with like LA Knight going up against Gunther. They should have done that. Now, I will say that, again, shout out to Miz. I know you don't like him, but like, that guy just does everything, and he does it with a smile on his face. And I'm a huge fan of him. And I know Pat's friends with him outside of the thing, but they had their little thing at WrestleMania and shit, which was great. But that's another thing. Like the Miz will take a bump for Pat, who's not, wasn't even a part of the thing, but that because they asked him and he did it. Like you just know that's a guy I would want to work with, dude. I bet he's an awesome guy.
I mean, I think there's a good reason why he's one of the first people that people hit on the way in to the company because he's going to be a good. They're going to do it. You know what I mean? And when they have someone who they need to turn babyface or something, they put him in there with Miz because Miz is easy to hate, and so it works.
Right, but like he can also I would have liked to have seen him kind of go on a little bit of a babyface run here, where I would have liked to seen him win the Intercontinental title. I think they could have done that a little bit better, and him and the fans kind of getting behind him. Because Gunther is Gunther. Like I actually kind of feel like he's a little bit of a limited wrestler. I know all the stuff he does is really well done and stuff.
Yeah,
like the chess match, but I just this last match was good. I'm not trying to shit on it. But don't you feel like all his stuff looks the same and he really hasn't brought anything new other than he used to be a insanely heavy set guy. I've done seen some of the older stuff and he's not so much now. I did always wonder. I was like, dude, that guy looks like he used to be fat because he doesn't have like I was just saying, Randy Orton looked like a Greek fucking god. And AJ Styles was not far off, and then, throw LA Knight's fucking Adonis too, the guy looks the part. So yeah.
Dude, I agree. I think they need to do something with LA Knight, and I don't know what it is because the good news is they have such a stacked main event scene. But I don't. I just want them to do something with him because he's got so much fan support.
Yeah, dude, the crowd. Hey, look, I love Cody. Cody is one of my favorites. I didn't know him really much about him until he came back to the WWE, and then I just was like, dude, I love this guy. He was kind of wanted to be an actor, didn't work out. Then he's like a prodigy. He was a really good collegiate wrestler at high school, won a Georgia State championship. I think the dude from New Day wrestled him. They're from the same area.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't think of his name. Not Kobe Cole, not Cole, not.
It was Xavier Woods.
Xavier Woods. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I don't know if that's not his real name either. So I just I'm with you, man. They're so wasting. I'm like, dude, this guy is a modern day Stone Cold Steve Austin, and it's his own thing. It doesn't feel like a ripoff.
Exactly.
And then, dude,
did you see his jacket? And his gear had the LA in the Attitude Era logo. So fucking cool.
Dude, his shit is on fire. They're wasting it. And I just and then I don't know, man. I don't know what they're doing with Drew McIntyre, but I heard his contract expires at the end of the thing of WrestleMania, and I wouldn't miss him.
I'll tell you this. I've been really hard on McIntyre for a long time.
Yeah, you called him something else forever.
I call him McIntyre for a long time. But this past month, he's been killing it.
You like the heel thing that he's been doing.
The way that he's leaned into it and the way that he's not being so goofy and smiley in a weird way that just feels like everyone should. The fucking line he gave to Punk, I'm not a spiritual man, but I prayed for this to happen to you. I was like, oh, what a fucking dick.
Well, and dude, CM Punk lost zero. I never saw him before either. I was away from wrestling when he was in WWE. So I heard of him and shit, because he got big. And so, the WWE does such a great job of marketing. You don't even have to be paying attention. And you're like, oh, that guy's into wrestling. I get it. And, dude, though, he is a promo king. Because he talked about his losing, and dude, I love hockey more than anything. The fact that this guy is always wearing a Chicago Blackhawks, I just honestly, I know that a lot of people said a lot of bad things. He is a guy I would love to spend time with. I think I would be boys with him because he just does, a lot of different interest, and he thinks the game a little bit different in wrestling. I already was just wow, this guy is he being complimentary or is he not? I mean, it's he speaks on a knife tip. He's got a silver fucking tongue. He was so good, and I love crowd results.
Yeah,
when the crowd loses their fucking mind, Edge coming back. Yeah. I go back and watch that and people just going nuts. You can see Adam Copeland just soaking it in. Like that CM Punk return was like unbelievable, you know.
It was pretty wild. It was pretty wild. And then, yeah, let's catch up on the chat real quick. Just in time saying, for one, he wishes they'd done the title change last year, especially since seeing they were going to do absolutely nothing with Roman or the Bloodline story after WrestleMania 39. And I agree, it's been static. It's been absolutely static for an entire year.
Dude. It's work. They have made the Universal title. No one. I don't care about it. I don't give a shit. Like I know
the exact thing. This is the exact thing that me and Bishop have been harping on AEW for a long time, that a lot of their fan base says it's long-term storytelling, but it's not a story that takes a long time to tell. It's a story you are just stretching out for a long time. And that's where we're at with the Bloodline. At this point, because like it used to feel like, hey, month to month, we're going to make these changes. And now it feels like year to year, we're going to make changes. And in the middle, we just got to keep it the same. And it's like, but that's a long time.
Marsh, if they just like Nia Jax becomes part of the Bloodline because you've already got the mixed faction, like, and she's related to him anyway, right? Yeah. So why not? I mean, she's already playing uber heel. They could have just done all that together and made him a little bit more relevant. Like have him go after Jay for betraying the Bloodline, and they could have drawn that out for a little bit. I mean, like that's just
they're doing nothing.
It's just awful, bro. And like I said, I just don't care about the fucking time because I'm like, well, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Triple H must hate. He definitely wants Hogan's record to be broken, right? So as soon as he passes Hogan, he can lose it, which I think WrestleMania will have passed Hogan. And then it'll just be Bruno Sammartino as the longest title run, right? But
Triple H loves Bruno, so I don't think he's trying to break that record, but still. And then Justin says, Style bringing back the Lone Wolf character really was a great choice. Yeah, I'm digging it. I just feel bad for the boys, the fucking Good Brothers.
Yeah, they bring them back and they're like, they get 2 seconds of fucking airtime. And all those guys. So I have to tell you, when I was away from wrestling and not watching or not following it, those guys came on Jim Rome. If you guys don't know, Jim Rome is like a syndicated radio show host out of Southern California, and he's huge. He makes like $30 million a year. In fact, he just announced he's going to be doing a show from X, so it's going to be live on. You'll be able to interact with him on that because he's Rome's never afraid to take a chance. Like he left the place he had been at, the Premier Radio Network forever, goes to CBS Sports Radio, probably lost popularity. He was with ESPN, left ESPN. He was with ESPN way back in the day, and that's one you should Google because that's wrestling. Is Jim Rome versus Jeff Everett. Do yourself a favor and watch that. But anyway, the Good Brothers were on Jim Rome's show. And I was like, these guys are incredible. I was like, this was like when I was like, I got to watch these guys on wrestling. I never did, but the military kept me busy. And now that I'm like, could be a little bit of a slacker, I'm taking in SmackDown and I did tell my wife, it's so funny, man. I told my wife when Pat came on the Rumble, I was like, oh man, I miss Pat, man. I wish he would come back. And then Monday we get him back and Cole's like, so who's I wanted to talk to you about this because we don't talk inside stuff that much. Mm-hmm. I did mention that McIntyre thing. I love that you're liking him. So that makes me appreciate what he's doing a little bit more. Because I just was like, do they just not know what to do with him? Because like
I get it. So authentic right now. It's crazy. Like I'm finally hearing it.
Fucking bang on true. I don't think he's telling his story. It's exactly how he feels. I think what he said to Punk was exactly how he felt. Because I was like, wow, that's the most ingenuous I've seen him. You know, I personally like him, but like,
yeah.
But I was like, I'm coming around on Marsh's thinking he could go. Because honestly, they don't really need him to be a heel. I don't know, like, is the crowd supposed to hate him? I guess they could, but like, I still think half the fans don't know what to do because they're like,
yeah.
But
yep.
Yeah, I was, but so shit.
Ooh.
Oh no, where did the? Oh no! Sorry.
Technical difficulties. Take a drink.
Oh god, I've been drinking lots of CBD kombucha.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Just fucking, I'm lucky, man. Like I got away with 25 years and not being in too horrible a shape, I still got a good disability percentage, but like for jumping out of airplanes and flying in fucking helicopters and I'm in all right shape. Let me know if this is too off or whatever, because hopefully I didn't screw anything up. But no, I was really I was really happy to see Pat back, but I didn't hate Kevin Patrick. I saw a lot of fans on like Bleacher Report just shitting on him, and I was like, oh, I kind of felt bummed out because I was like, oh, here's a guy who kind of worked his way up in the thing as a guy, and I didn't hate him. Like I thought he was fine, and I actually thought Cole had some pretty good
Back and forth with him.
Not with Kevin Patrick, but the guy he was working with.
Was it Wade Barrett?
Yeah, Wade Barrett. He was a former wrestler, right? I didn't hate them. I thought they were good. So who's going to be? We're going to know on SmackDown who the new team is, huh? Do we know who it is?
I think the new team is Corey Graves and Wade Barrett.
Oh, you think it's going to be Barrett and Graves? Oh, so Graves. Yeah, and I saw Graves kind of went babyface with McAfee. So Graves is going to play the straight guy, and Barrett's going to be the heel announced thing.
I think something that Corey Graves has done a good job at that a lot of people have to notice of is that he's been able to control the table as the color guy for all the people they keep putting in. So I think he's going to be somewhere in between. I think he's going to be a little bit straight, but I think he's still going to have his color edge to him.
Of course,
I think it'd be interesting.
Yeah. Oh, I don't dislike him at all. I like him. I don't have anything against him at all. That's why I was worried that maybe he was off if Kevin Patrick was out, what were they going to do with Graves? But he's another guy, by the way, that like he just shows up and does stuff. That's why I like him kind of giving on McAfee a little bit. But I think it's good. Even McAfee said on his show, Graves, who's recently not been a great fan, it's like I'm glad to have you around. Even he knows it's not good to take on McAfee, probably. I think he felt bad all the shit McAfee had been taking in the media, honestly, so Graves took it easy on him. But McAfee was like, yeah, it was really nice that Corey was kind of cool. We're both from Pittsburgh, so, And I believe Corey Graves lives in Pittsburgh and stuff. Now, hey, what's up with this old lady, too? Like, I haven't seen Carmella. Is she not with them anymore, or?
She was pregnant. She just had a baby about a month
that's what
ago.
I thought. Okay, she had a baby. She's on maternity leave, so that's cool. And
Yeah.
by the way, speaking of somebody who was out for a while, what'd you think of Liv Morgan's return?
It was good. She looked great. The Rumble I thought was awesome, dude.
Yeah, it was so good. You knew Bayley was going to win. And hey, what about that Jade Cargill? I thought, wow, impressive.
She looked awesome in there. And that was great because I was so nervous because she had a really good look and a really good presence in AEW, but her in-ring was so bad. And her talking was just not good. So I was
she already wrestled in AEW, so you've seen her before.
Yeah, and she was not good. And so I was really nervous when they brought her in. I was like, if they put her in there in the ring too fast with some of these people, she's going to get smoked. And it's going to look real bad. So I mean, Triple H
gave her a respectable entrance. Like they didn't put too much pressure on her. Like if she had won the Rumble, I'd have been like, eh.
They did that, and also Triple H said it in one of the media things. Someone said, hey, you brought in Cargill a couple months ago, but we haven't seen her. What's going on? And he's like, through no fault of her own, she's just going to need a lot of training and work, but we're going to get her there, and we don't want to put her out there.
I saw that. I listened to those. I always watch those WWE post-game. Those are great, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, I love those. We learn, and that's when you really get the authentic. I really love you get the interaction and shit. Most of the people that ask, I know because of you or whatever. I go, I know that guy. I know Conrad, the mortgage guy. I know fucking, I know these guys. So, dude, hopefully one day we'll see you there and you'll be one of the media. Ref Marsh, Wrestling on the Rocks. I'll be like, oh my God, Wrestling on the Rocks. That's our show I've been on. Fucking awesome.
I'm
just saying, dude, I can't want good things for my friends. So I just feel like you were born into this and deserve to do it. And always you get me coming around on things. Like Bishop, I will always give credit for. Shout out Bishop. Terrible Takes, right? Still doing Terrible Takes?
Yeah, he's still terrible.
I love that guy. Yeah. Matt Bishop got me on, I just so appreciate Rebecca Quinn, aka the man, aka Becky Lynch. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna read her book, dude. Like,
I ordered it.
Yeah. I haven't ordered it, but it comes out. I was like, I'll get it when I get back from vacation. They're not gonna sell out of this book.
No, but I pre-ordered the signed copy because the signed one's $35, and I was like, fuck, a signed book
Yeah,
from
no, I
Mackie.
don't need a signed copy, but that's cool.
I
You'll
just
have
like
one.
signed books. I just
Yeah,
like the
no.
signed books. I started
Yeah.
collecting signed books recently. It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
But I started it.
No,
I stopped
it's
getting
cool.
all the paintings and stuff, and I was like, just signed books would be nice. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, dude, I'm so good. Oh yeah,
Okay.
Justin says he's really interested to see how Barrett and Graves do. So that's
Yeah.
who he is, or that's what it's going to be for sure. Because I had rumors that JR might be coming back, and I was like, what?
Well,
He's like,
Well, JR said that his contract was running up with AEW, and he would like to resign, but he hasn't had those conversations. And what we know is that Tony just doesn't have those conversations. He just will ghost people when he's done with them.
hey,
And
so you think that JR is off AEW? I'll tell you right now, I don't care if he's 105. Buck out! Oh, broke him in half. I would love fucking JR on SmackDown again. I fucking love him. And I know King is getting banged up and he's real old and probably couldn't come back. But that I know McAfee calls Michael Cole the GOAT. He's great. But it's JR for me, man. Like I love JR and Jerry the King Lawler. They made, it's so inappropriate now, but like the puppies, or the train, like, all the Godfather, like Jerry Lawler. He was a heel, but he was like, I don't know. He was very likable. I just thought like the best. And JR just was so, oh my God, like he's the best, dude. I don't know how you feel. We've never had the conversation about
I like him a lot. Push your mic back a little bit. You're so close to it that your volume keeps dropping because it's trying to counteract you.
Okay.
But we still hear you, but just push it back just a.
Let me know. Thing came off.
Because the systems will automatically mute high levels, and so it keeps dropping
I have that setting set too, because the dogs sometimes bark and shit when we get mail, which invariably comes when I've just started my podcast. So, anyway, if you don't know, I do a hockey podcast called NHL Nightly on my channel, The Sports Beard, 4 nights a week. Check us out.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah. Let's see. Justin Timell said he'd be happy with McIntyre winning the title, which, to be honest, anybody taking the title off Rollins right now would think it'd be good for both Rollins and that title.
Yeah. That would be a cool matchup. That'd be a cool matchup. That'd be cool.
And he said Jade being in the Performance Center was going to do wonders for her. And now look at her. She's already taken massive steps closer to the star we knew she can and will be. And that's true too. Like, when she came out, I was like, what does she got? And I was like, fuck, she looks ready, but that might just be because everybody's working with her so well. Like, this is perfect,
Yeah, I thought it was great. She didn't have to do anything. Like, she didn't have to say anything. She could just be like the badass. I mean, with her and Bianca, it's just like, that's a match I want to see.
I like the way that they were like gorilla press slamming people in front of them. So they were just like, they're basically flexing at each other.
No,
I don't even think they touched.
Dude, that was a really cool moment. I'll be honest with you, man. I thought the women's Rumble was better than the men's.
For sure.
It was so good. What the women's card is so stacked. Even the Valhalla stuff, like, because I have not seen her wrestle ever. Like, I told my wife, like, she goes, she was asking me about this really skinny blonde woman that was hanging out with, I think, the Alpha Academy.
Oh, Maxine Dupree.
She's like, I've never seen her wrestle. Does she even wrestle? And I go, yeah, babe. Sometimes they wrestle on like, darks and stuff, but she doesn't seem like a wrestler to me. But I was like, but they're a lot, like, they're all shapes and sizes in the women's division now too, which is cool. In the past, that wouldn't be the case, right? They'd all look like Trish Stratus or some shit. So now I like that it's like there's no carbon copy, but you still have your like Jade card. I'll tell you what, man, that TNA champion, that woman was awesome. Like, I would love to see her in WWE. She looks like, a 80s wrestler, and I loved it. I was like, God, I love this. And then, people shit on the WWE all the time, but like, that's a really cool thing. They're inviting another person over
to be highlighted.
Dude, they let her eliminate like a couple people. She looked awesome. Like, they gave her, I would have liked to seen her actually stay a little bit longer, because she looked like a really good wrestler.
Here's how good she looked.
What?
Here's how good she looked. Is you remember her eliminating people? I could have sworn she eliminated like 5. We looked it up last night. She eliminated 0. She had no eliminations, but she looked that good that we were positive she did.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
I thought
That's
they
how
did
good it
good
was.
job, but I would have liked to seen her go a little bit longer. I don't think that would have hurt. I just think it makes the WWE look good. It makes that other program because I bet half the rosters wrestled on, that TNA or whatever. They've been around forever, right? And before TNA, it was Ring of Honor, and now you have AEW and stuff. But yeah, I thought Braun Strowman was back in the WWE. Is he still there?
Yeah, he's back. I don't know what's going on with him because I don't.
They're not doing anything with him.
Yeah. I thought that was weird too. I thought he was maybe out injured, but now I'm thinking he's not injured. So I don't know what he's up to. And I mean, I was talking about it the other day with somebody that I feel like that they could really utilize a manager for someone like him, but utilize it the right way. Like they don't do managers like they used to. Like you used to have managers having rivalries with champions. Like Jimmy Hart had a rivalry with Jerry Lawler, and he would just bring in people and talk for them, like the Heenan family. Like even look at Cornette and Midnight Express. Here's guys who are never going to talk.
To that too. Do you think they are doing that a little bit? Because I wanted to ask you. I'm glad I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Go ahead.
If you're not done, but I never liked the guy until he's doing this like black and white. We're behind everything. Karrion Kross and his group of people, and they brought that one sketchy manager guy out. I was like, yeah, this is good. Like I am enjoying. This feels very. I like that. I was like, that Karrion Kross guy hadn't done one thing that I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then he started doing this because I was like, oh my God. I go, we already have a lot of factions, but I go, I really like this. Yeah, so I would like to see some more of that. They should give them a little bit of run.
They should. And I think that it's weird that Ellering has not said anything, really.
I know.
They brought him in. Yeah.
That also makes it equally cool.
That's true, too. He's menacing.
Like, oh, this is good. Like, who is this guy? He's freakishly scary and stuff. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you about that. I'm glad you brought that up. What else you want to talk about?
I don't know. You said that there was a few things that you were kind of you'd been thinking about, or that you and your wife had.
Well, that was one of them.
Yeah.
And then we talked about the Cody and Seth thing. I really wanted to talk to you about that. Like, that's why I wanted to come on, because I was like, dude, I'd rather see Cody and Seth too. Fuck Roman. I don't care about Roman. He's made his title irrelevant to me. And I know I'm not alone in the WWE universe there. So, but, also you want to see the guys that deserve it.
It's so prevalent. I know. I want LA Knight so bad, but it's so prevalent. They had to address it on commentary. Corey even said, criticize all you want online about Roman's run right now, but there's 48,000 people in here to see this match. But it was also kind of like, no, they're not. They're here for the Rumbles, right? But they had to acknowledge that there is a lot of rumbling amongst the people, that it's a tired run.
Dude, Marsh, they know it's a tired run. They didn't finish the Rumble with it. If it was worth anything, they would have finished the Rumble with it.
They did it last year. Last year, the main event was KO versus Roman and Sammy's turn.
This was the women's Rumble. Then we had this match. It was like, what? The Intercontinental was higher than this. People had more invested in the Intercontinental than the Universal title.
Yeah.
Four-way. That's how, with like 3 Hall of Famers. Like, we'll see what happens with LA Knight, but like AJ Styles probably going to Hall of Fame. For damn sure Randy Orton's going to Hall of Fame. And Roman Reigns is easily going to Hall of Fame too. But we'll see. Like I said, we'll see what happens with LA Knight. But if he's a flash in a pan, whatever. But hopefully not. I mean, we'll see. Like, I'd like to see what the guy can do, but you got to give him the chance. And like, I told my wife, I go, Roman will win this. Before it started, I go, this will be Roman. They're not going to let the title change hands at Royal Rumble, which they should have. That would have been such a good shock.
It would have been perfect. Here's what I would have done, dude. Let me just tell you what I would have done. Let's see what you think. When Randy went for that pin, instead of Solo coming out, I'd have given the title to Randy right then, because Randy was pinning, I think, AJ or LA Knight or somebody. Maybe he was pinning Roman. But I would have had Randy pin like an AJ, get the title. I would have had LA Knight take out Roman with the BFT, then have Randy take out LA Knight, then take out AJ and pin him. And so that way LA's the one who took Roman out of the match, but Randy's the one who wins. Then you get Randy and Cody building to Mania. I would keep Roman off TV for a year and not have him come back till next year's Rumble, and have him win that Rumble and go up against whoever's champion then, which by that point could be could be CM Punk. Now you have Roman returning to take CM Punk down a notch. Like in the main event, that'd have been huge.
Dude, you should work as a writer for WWE. I've said this a million times.
But the thing is like if we're actually building towards Rock and Roman at WrestleMania, then I'm only semi interested in the fact
how
that
are we building to Rock and Roman? He said one thing innocuously on one show. Like, we're not building to Rock and Roman. It's WrestleMania is 2 months away. Like, get the fuck out of here with Rock and Roman. Like, you're gonna let Roman carry the title through SummerSlam and then The Rock wrestles him or something.
That's my point, is that like I would think that if you have Rock and Roman anywhere outside of Mania, you think that maybe The Rock will win because they can get him to drop it at the next big event. But if it's only at the big event, there's no chance that The Rock's winning, and then we're just wasting more time. In my mind.
It's, you know what I mean? And I don't give a shit about The Rock and fucking Roman Reigns. Like, Rock is clearly so much better than Roman Reigns ever could wished he wanted to be. The fact that the guy can come over, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like, I'll be honest with you, the wife and I were hoping he'd run for president.
Yes.
I want him because he's a good business guy. He's fucking mixed race. He's fucking lived everywhere in the goddamn country. He's been everywhere. It's just like, I feel like he'd be a great freaking president.
Yeah,
anyway,
I agree. I'd vote for him.
It sucks that we ain't getting him. And we're getting what we get. So
plus, I just want anyone who's like sub 80 to be in that seat.
Not like, no shit.
Yeah, I honestly, I mean, not to get political, I think that there needs to be an age limit on presidential campaigns. If you can say you can't be younger than 35, you should also say you can't be older than 65 or something.
I wouldn't mind a 35-year-old president, man. I want somebody that, that's got ideas and stuff. So
Rock says
he's a long gamer.
Yeah, which I think could mean that he's not going to do anything till next year Mania, which is good. But at the same time, if we're all waiting for that, then it feels another bit like we're going to waste a whole nother year.
I don't care. Oh, I don't even care about The Rock being the head of the table. In my opinion, he is the head of the table. It's laughable that Roman even compares himself to him. In my opinion, he's just not even close. And wrestling is more popular now than it was in the Attitude Era, but I don't give a shit. Like, the people The Rock wrestled against, and I know his dad was in the game, but he's, in my opinion, one of the, if not, he's the greatest of all time.
I mean, the moment that Roman even called himself the tribal chief and head of the table, everyone immediately started going like, what about The Rock, dude? Like, it was immediate. It held such little water that immediately we were like, well, The Rock's playing.
Right. I don't need to see this stupid fucking match. I don't even care. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, like when Hulk Hogan or these guys would come back and be like, oh, you really want to see Ric Flair or whoever, or I always heard like Rob Van Dam against, whoever the blah, 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 that stuff. And then Rob Van Dam was in or whatever. But I just like, okay. Who cares? Like, it's just nothing I've ever heard anybody go, God, I really love to see The Rock. And I just think The Rock should go in, rip the title off of him and be like, I'm the head of the table. Like, they don't even have a match. Because like you said, nobody's taken Roman seriously. And I honestly think he's hurt his legacy with it being the title this long.
I think he has with them actually, like, because we talked about it last night with Bishop, that his first year as champion was incredible. He was doing high level things. He was in that Hell in a Cell match where he started crying and then wiped away the tear and called his cousin an idiot for believing him when he was crying because he was faking it. And you're just like, this is high level. But then the last 2 years has been none of that. It's been the same attitude, the same facial expressions.
It's Paul Heyman. It's Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's the only interesting thing about those segments now. And
but
just
even
what
he's become repetitive. He does the same, oh my God, in every match. And Solo interferes every time.
Stuff, dude, I actually thought that was great. I know you were not a big fan of that guy, but I've actually been really impressed with. I like him better than Adam Pearce. He hasn't blocked me on Twitter, so
that's true. Well, he hasn't ripped his pants yet. Time will tell.
Dude, what the fuck? Like, I don't even it just makes me think Adam Pearce is a dick. Like, dude, like, I wasn't being cruel. It wasn't your fault your pants ripped, by the way. It's some fucking 270-pound behemoth fucking F5'd you. Like, dude.
Yeah.
You probably were wearing $700 pair of pants and they ripped on you. That's some bullshit. I don't mind Adam Pearce, but to me, he's been a no. By the way, the other gal, Sonya, she was a manager for a while. She came back and wrestled. Are they? What are they doing with
Problem.
her? And Justin said that he heard Strowman had neck fusion surgery, so that's why we haven't seen him.
Oh,
So that makes sense.
That's rough. That's rough. Hopefully he
They
comes
probably
back.
had no way to kayfabe him off the show, and it was sudden, so they just had to do it right. You know, like a lot of times they like to kayfabe people off the show. And be like,
so
oh, he
have
got
a
injured
sword
because
come
of
back
the
too.
attack. Yeah, you know, like they did
Kids
with
have been doing that
AJ.
back.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
I mean, also
Those are my-
his last return run was so minor, and he didn't do a bunch that it probably was like we could squeeze you in wherever we want when you're ready. Like,
Yeah, no, I agree.
never
I
know.
agree with Strowman.
So-
Yeah, but Sonya
But
Deville, and
Sami
then I
Zayn's
saw
back. Mhm.
what?
You saw what?
Well, I saw Justin said Liv and Naomi returning. Naomi was fucking incredible. And she had the record before she got eliminated. I would have liked to have seen Naomi be the record holder and Bailey not pass that time. Like it was cool that Bailey came out 3, but the fact that Naomi came out and she's back, and I always loved her. She was so fun. I was telling my wife, I was like, yeah, you'll love Naomi. She's awesome.
She's
and
great.
she was saying nothing. This is Stephanie was like, man, Naomi's still in there. She was all into it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
awesome, dude. Yeah, I was so happy to see her back, dude. So happy to see her back. But
yeah.
I don't know. Was there anything else that you guys were really hitting on? Are you ready for last call?
We could do last call, man. I really feel like I talked to you about what I wanted to talk to you. I'm not interested in the controversy stuff because, like, I don't know, man.
We're not news media, and there's a journalistic integrity behind that we don't have, and I'm not trying to say anything libelous or talk on something I don't know or understand.
No, I mean, I read the whole thing, dude. It's not good. Like, I don't know if you read it, but to me, it's like, it's not that I don't want to comment on it because I just like, for me, I'm always disappointed when these rich, powerful people ultimately don't ever pay the price, and therefore they're repeat abusers and stuff like that. So I just like, to me, the whole thing is sad. And the fact that like however many people's lives were impacted by this, the number could have been less if somebody would have done the right thing a long time ago. That's always bothersome to me too. Not trying to be moral or high horse. I don't care what people do in the privacy of their own room, but like, you know, consensually, we'll just leave it at that. Like I said, on my world, the hockey world, there's a huge investigation from the World Juniors in 2018, the Canadian hockey team. 6 or 8, maybe up to 12 were involved in some sexual assault of a woman. 5 actually sexually assaulting. All that's come to light, 4 of which are NHL players, and 2 were decent players, and Dylan Dubé and Carter Hurt, all their names are out. So like, we're dealing with that here now too. It's All-Star weekend. Like, you know, the commissioner would rather be talking about something else.
Yeah.
And like, for me, it's not like, I just like, what is there to say? We're not solving the problem. Like, if you want to have a conversation about it, like, we could have a conversation about it. But like, I just wanted to talk fun wrestling stuff. Like, I took the Triple H road out of it because like, honestly too, man, your life is better when you focus on positive shit. And I just don't try to dwell on the negative in anything, man. Like, it's like, okay, this is happening and it's awful. And if there's something I can do to help, I will. But in the meantime, what's best for me and my mental health is to just not go down there. I don't like scary movies, or I don't watch them because they stress me out and they give me anxiety. So it's like, why would I put myself, you know, it's a
I also think that there's no differing opinion, right? Everyone's got the same exact feeling. Anyone who reads that says the same thing. That's fucked up, and I hope that dude pays. There's no outside. There's no, we can't bring a conversation on the table. There's no conversation here. This is a legal battle that needs to get sorted the fuck out. And whether we say something on YouTube that, we don't like it. Of course, no one likes this. You know?
I will say this though. Bet they wish they just paid the rest of that NDA. Because it's gonna be awesome. Our former president just had to pay a lady he defamed $83 million.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, that's not a political witch hunt. That is a civil trial where they prove, you know, sorry, buddy. Like, that's not even a real legal issue, honestly, except for him. He's going to have to pay out $83 million. And I know Giuliani got hit with like $150 million, you being a former New Yorker, $150 million defamation suit too, man. You have to be able, when you talk shit about someone, you have to be able to prove it. And we're not talking shit about anybody specifically, but I just, like I wasn't interested in that. I wanted to talk to you about the Seth thing, and I really felt that he has. I loved what you said, though. You always get me around to being like, okay, I need to think about this objectively and look at it from more sides. But I personally, I'm telling you, as a fan, as a member of the WWE universe, I care more about his title now too. And I feel like you said the same thing. But it has to be Roman or whatever, and that's fine. That makes sense. I mean, it would be a absolute miss by the WWE if they don't have somebody defend both titles. And like you said, it wouldn't have hurt Seth at all to relinquish it. I did think I was like, this is a little egotistical of him to kind of hold on to the title. And they had an easy out, and it wouldn't have been a bad thing. And they could have just had an open tournament. I was going to say one small thing after you talked about this Roman thing. What would have been great is in the Fatal 4-Way, like you said, all that finishes with all the things that you said would go down. But then Damian Priest comes out and Money in the Bank's it. Because, dude, he's got to use that Money in the Bank soon, right? Like, because Money in the Bank's coming up. So, like, he's not going to be able to keep it. And if he's never used it, I feel like they've really missed on that one, too. They've been doing too much because they're doing all this other stuff. They really should have had Damian Priest trying to get all the belts so the Judgment Day are the legit faction that they are.
So my only thought, because I think that they've been having a really tough time with that Money in the Bank, and Drew keeps getting in the way, right? It's always Drew stopping Damian Priest. So maybe we get to Seth versus Drew at Mania, and Damian Priest cashes in before Drew gets the pin. So Drew doesn't
or Drew wins, but he's so obliterated. Damian comes and steals it from him, and then you've got Drew against the Judgment Day for a while, which you could do.
I'm saying you can make it worse for Drew, right? And make the story more interesting where Drew doesn't get his moment, because if Drew got the win and then it was stolen from him.
Oh, you don't want him to get the win at all.
I don't want him to get the win, because then Drew gets extra pissed. You couldn't even wait for me to.
Yeah, but have you ever seen that, though, where it feels like and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm saying it feels like the Money in the Bank guy always comes out after there's a winner and beats the winner like right away.
Seth didn't. When Seth did it at Mania, he came in during the match and it became a triple threat match.
Oh, so you could just go in. See, that would be cooler. Because actually, I love Priest. And dude, the fact that R-Truth, by the way, I am not lying. Ron Killings, fucking awesome. R-Truth is so good. And I feel like when I first got back, when I was doing the show with you, they were just doing like the 24/7 thing with him. They underuse that guy. He is so good. And his whole Judgment Day, I mean, like I said, would not have hurt the Judgment Day. It would have made him more popular. Just get rid of JD because he's completely unlikable. He's not even good. So, but like, get R-Truth in there. Like, I don't know why.
And also, if Damian Priest jumps in there and makes it a triple threat, then it's no disqualification. And then you can have Judgment Day running amok on the outside, preventing Drew from, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that would be cool, man. I would enjoy that. And it would be nice. Because again, like, I don't even need to see, I guess because it's WrestleMania 40. That's why they're doing this. I don't know, man. Like,
yeah. But WrestleMania XL. But yeah, dude, let's do last call. Tell people where they can find you about your hockey stuff.
Yeah, so the podcast is fans FFSN NHL Nightly on Apple or Spotify. And you can watch us live stream that podcast at 10 p.m. Eastern on the Sports Beard YouTube channel, also on the Sports Beard Instagram, also on the Sports Beard at @beard_sports on Twitter, aka X, also on Twitch at the Sports Beard. So I'm on a lot of platforms, and we get everybody from everything. I get every once in a while, I'll get a weird random person from Twitch, and not much success on Twitch, but I still continue to do it. You can watch previous episodes on my YouTube page under the live tab. I'm going to start editing and cutting and stuff. I've just got other irons in the fire. So, but I am sometimes a frequent guest on Wrestling on the Rocks. When you want me on, Marsh, I will come on. I will make time for you. It's good to talk wrestling with you. And I'm following the sport again, like full time. So, well, I'm doing this. I'm watching Monday Night Raw. I'm watching SmackDown, and I'm watching the premium live events. But I'm not watching NXT. Like anytime somebody comes from NXT, I'm like, I don't know who that is. But it's kind of exciting.
Yes.
Because I don't know who it is. Like Braun Breaker looked really good in the Rumble, by the way. Yeah, and I knew who he was because I knew a little bit of that. But like, whoa, they need to bring him. He needs to be up. Like, why is he in NXT?
Roxanne and Tiffany as well. I thought both showed that they belong on the main roster too. So, yeah, I only watch some of NXT now. I don't watch it every week, but I watch it from time to time, and it's good stuff. But that's where you can find Sports Beard. We're Wrestling on the Rocks. You can find us all over the place. And you know what, guys? We'll be back sometime probably next week for another episode 1 right here in the Dive Bar of the IWC. Sports Beard, that's last call.
Oh, cheers.
Producer Lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support and buy us a drink by putting the I in subscribe and reviewing our podcast. And cheers to Fans First Sports Network for keeping the dive bar lights on.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.